In this section, we're going to look at testing directives. Testing directives can be rather complicated, so in order to try as much as possible to clarify how testing directives works, we're going to look at a diagram of the pieces involved and how they interact in a test. The first piece is the directive we have created. We won't explicitly tell our test to include this piece. Angular will actually get it for us and include it. Next is the template for our directive. If this is an external template, then we will have to make sure that it is loaded for the test. If it's embedded in the directive, then we don't have to worry about it. Next, we create and set up a test scope for the test. We give this whatever values make sense for the test. Then we have a string that is some HTML that references the directive we are trying to test. For example, if our directive is named myDirective, then this is a node named myDirective. Then we take all these four pieces and we run them through Angular's directive compiler. The essence of this piece is that it will look at the test HTML node, see if it has a directive in it, and go grab that directive. If that directive references an external template, then Angular will gather that piece as well. Then we will explicitly tell it to compile with our test scope, and Angular will take all those pieces and produce a set of HTML nodes that aren't attached to the DOM, but do have events wired up if our directive specified them. Say, for example, an ngClick directive will produce an event listener for click events. Now that we have those DOM nodes, we can test them to see if they were created in the manner that we were expecting. As a result of this, ultimately we're just testing part of the DOM, and as such, these tests can often involve using a lot of jQuery to find a particular node, and then either looking at that node to see if it's correct, or triggering an event to see if the event was correctly wired up to some method on our scope, or that the directive takes some specific action when that event occurs. Like the other sections in this module, the most effective way to learn about testing a directive is to dig right into the code. So let's turn to our project and write a directive test.